An Iranian oil tanker collided with a Chinese freighter in the East China Sea. For more than a week, the tanker carrying 136,000 tons of light crude oil burned. It later sank and took the 32 crew members with it. It was close to dismissal time on February 14th at Florida's Parkland High School. That's when police say former student Nicholas Cruz entered the school with a semi-automatic rifle, opening fire on students and staff. 17 were killed.
Stand for us or beware, the voters are coming.
Fellow students, fueled by frustration and anger over current gun laws, ignited the student-led Never Again movement.
I'm here to say never again.
On March 25th, at a shopping complex in Siberia, a fire sparked in the fourth-floor children's play area. It quickly spread. Reports say temperatures reached as high as 600 degrees Celsius. More than 60 were killed, more than half of them children who had been enjoying their first day of a week-long school break. A child was suspected of lighting foam rubber in a room. Some blame the mall's owners and builders for cutting costs amid financial losses. Volatility exploded into violence later that month in the Gaza Strip. Thousands of Palestinians protested along the Gaza-Israel border, demanding Palestinian refugees be allowed to return to lands in what is now Israel, and condemning the blockade of the Gaza Strip. Since the 6-week campaign exploded, more than 200 Palestinians were killed. Later, in a resolution, the UN General Assembly condemned Israel's use of excessive force. Dissenting voices also raised in Nicaragua. On April 18th, demonstrators rallied against Social Security reforms proposed by President Daniel Ortega, resulting in tax hikes and benefit cutbacks. The protests lasted for days, and nearly 30 were killed. Ortega eventually scrapped the reforms, but bitter feelings still simmer as Ortega enters his 12th year in office and holds almost absolute power. The world held its breath for 3 weeks in June and July for what was playing out deep underground in Thailand. 12 young footballers and their coach out on a bike ride became trapped in a cave by raging floodwaters. Trying to get them out took an international effort with much risk. None of the boys knew how to swim, and expert divers battled the dark, muddy waters.
We are coming. It's okay. It's okay. Many people are coming. Many people. We are the first.
Finally, a diver spotted the group, and all made it out alive. The National Museum of Brazil in Rio was one of the largest in the Americas. But in September, a fire ravaged the 200-year-old institution. The blaze destroyed most of its 20 million artifacts, including rare dinosaur fossils and human skeletons. Many blame the government for allowing the museum to go underfunded, a symbol of what they say is the crumbling state of their country. In the foreground of one of the most famous and elegant avenues in the world, supporters of the Yellow Vest movement clash with police for consecutive weekends, turning the Champs-Élysées in Paris into a battleground. Protesters were steaming over President Emmanuel Macron's proposal to raise an eco-tax on fuel. He reneged. But the cause has morphed into demands for him to step down and to fight against the political elite, a cause that has resonated worldwide and is not likely to subside in 2019. Frances Coe, CGTN.